Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the SuperNova Astrology update for January 1 through 8, 2024. Well, we have made the leap over into the new year. So let's check out the astrology, the energy that's coming forward around this new year and first week of the new year is it's go time. That's because Mercury turns direct on the 2nd of January. And we've also had Chiron turned direct on December 27th. Jupiter turned direct on the 31st. So what we're feeling is a very strange and uncomfortable energy of being at the precipice of great change and yet stuck. And we've been feeling this for so long, and it's exactly so we have this feeling every year at this time of the year. We have the holy nights, as in the northern hemisphere the sun goes the shortest day and then returns. And so essentially Christmas and this time of year, New Year, is celebrating that shift of the sun, the turning of the sun in the northern and southern hemispheres, mirroring each other. So there's always at this time of year this feeling of ready to go into the new and yet not quite. You got to unwind, especially these days, the holy nights, which is between Christmas and Epiphany. I know for everybody, the holidays, this whole season just feels so different this year. It feels so like, are we off calendar? Are we in a different dimension? Are we like, what's going on? It's so strange. And that's what's bringing particularly. So the message is that this time of year, this pause, this return, this like turning around, but you can't just go the other direction right away very fast. You got to like slow down the train, right? And so that this pattern that happens every year is actually happening in bigger time cycles, right? Like we know we're on the verge of a whole new reality. And we've gotten these messages that taking a leap into 2024 is like, and we've got every planet now direct except for Uranus. And Uranus turns direct on the 24th of January. That's very powerful because it's just right a couple days after Pluto moves into the sign of Aquarius. Pluto spends about 24 years in a sign. And so Pluto's movement into a new sign is a generational change. It's a major deal. But this is also the age of Aquarius. So we're having all these cycles come together at this point, right? And we can feel it. And there's this kind of like, yes, finally, let's get going. And yet there's also this fear, this trepidation, this pause, this unknown, this making the leap into something new. We know we've had to let go of everything, so much of who we thought we were and everything that was important and all the people in our life, And then it's just like, So we've been saying, so that Pluto and Capricorn, right now we've got Pluto at 29 degrees Capricorn, and that's a huge energy of a bloom. Always we have this at the beginning and the end of the sign. We need to remember this because this is also what we're dealing with Saturn and Pisces and the end of the Piscean age, a huge bloom of the nightmare in order to get back into the dream. And so this 29 degrees, Pluto is our power. It's our unknown. It's something out there, way out there. We can feel the effect of it, but we can't see it. We don't know what it is. And so it represents our psychic power, whereas Mars is more like our action power, our warrior, our will, our force. This is our psychic power, our ability to see and feel and act from a different level of consciousness. So Pluto represents the psychic power we have available to us as souls in a human body, and also the fear of our power. And in Capricorn, it's about control of our power, that we were programmed. It's very simple, right? We go back to the story again and again. Atlantean time, catastrophes were created. Now we know they're man-made. We're being shown all along these so-called entities that have had control and been managing and farming humans on Earth. So man-made catastrophes blamed on advanced human souls with access to the higher technology to make sure you're always scared of yourself and you never go back and actualize that power. So this is what's going on right now. Pluto at 29 degrees Capricorn. Capricorn is external authority over our psychic power. And we've been capitulating to this. And now it's like the globalist tyrannical control had to get so strong and to this point where we go, wait a minute, who's in charge here? I don't want to be farmed in my precious creation energy that was gifted to me by source. Like, and this is what we're waking up to. Just say, as an example, we've got US taxpayer dollars paying for genocide, paying for human trafficking, paying for an invasion of our very own country, paying for, health practices that are killing us. War, genocide, war, but also it's like population control agendas. And moving towards a social credit score system. This is a lot of what we've been battling with. We say, oh, well, that's just in China, right? And it's like, no, facial recognition and social credit score, this has already been in operation. Facebook was called DARPA, a government program first, and still, right? Information gathering, compiling, they want our DNA, they want to clone us, they want to do all this dark shit. And it's just like, no more. But we had to see it. And so many, it's frustrating for those who do see it because so many souls or whatever, the consciousness, our programmed, brainwashed reality is the mainstream is not seeing this truth, even though it's right in our faces, and playing out like a movie. So this is the part in the movie where we stand up and we say no more. And this is kind of a question for supernova souls. What does that mean to us? What does that mean to us as advanced souls, as keepers of this advanced technology that's been stolen and raped and misused to destroy and destruct our world and our connection to source and our mother, our earth, right? Like, what do we do? There is an energy of action to 2024. Let's talk this through because just on the day moving into the new year, we had Mars, our warrior planet in Sagittarius, fire. It's the dream, it's the vision, and going over the Galactic Center, which is kind of defines Sagittarius. It's that wider, bigger picture of what in the heck we're doing here and what's the point, our greater destiny. So what happens at the very beginning of the year kind of sets a tone, for the rest of the year. And so it's giving us some hints and clues, and I'll be going more in depth of the energies of 2024, but it's about shooting off like a rocket because we've got Mars on the Galactic Center. And so it's like the warriors activated, just had this massive conjunction with Mercury retrograde in Sag, square Neptune, seeing through the warrior standing up and pointing out the lies and delusions of this world and going up against them. So this is kind of the message that's coming through the electromagnetic controls system that we've been dealing with, the lower magnetic frequencies that they're trying to keep us. It's like quarantined in our own local area network. And that is keeping us from being able to connect with each other, connect with our consciousness. And it's all about just invalidating our purpose, our path, our mission here. They're hoping that if you don't have anybody else around you that's on your mission or similar mission, that you'll just forget about this mission, that you'll just keep going along with the program in this false bullshit reality. And it's like, oh no. Do you feel the power growing within you right now? It might be just frustration and unrest because Mercury is finally turning direct, but it's going to take a minute for Mercury to get going. But it's like a slingshot, right? So we've been saying game over, game over, game over, going back to the control energies that have had been manipulating humanity. And we're standing up against. We have to stand up to it. And wherever humanity is at needs to stand up. right? So for some, it's a protest in the street. For others, it's a music festival or whatever, you know what I mean? We have to figure out, how do we take a stand, you know? And the biggest revolutionary act, it appears, is to come together closer than 6 feet apart, you know, and raise our energy vibration and frequency, because it's contagious. But they wanted you quarantined, you know? And then it's interesting because so much is coming forward about the power of our electromagnetic field. And we've gotten this message again and again. If Pluto's about to move over into Aquarius, that is saying we are beginning the Aquarian age. Pluto already dipped into Aquarius last year, already went to 0 degrees. We got our feet wet. This is a whole different energy. And so it's interesting with this Pluto at 29 degrees, the bloom of the control energies, and right here at the end of 2023, moving into 2024. 2024, boom, January 22nd, Pluto goes into Aquarius and says it's a new age. Pluto is going to dip back into 29 degrees Capricorn for October and November of 2024. So this whole year is about claiming and owning our own autonomy. And we've gotten this message again and again about moving into the Aquarian age requires that we are sovereign, that we claim and own and take responsibility for our creations, right? Because the whole story, remember, started with blaming us for catastrophe. So we know we didn't go anywhere near the creation energy, the power that's within us. But now we've gone through hell and back, and we know that we're aligned with source, with her, with the mother. We're coming back to our mother is awakening. Our great mother manifests in the physical expression of earth, but really she's an energy field, and we've been disconnected. So it's very, very powerful what's coming forward around the energetic field. So when you go to own your energetic field, you'll get the message from the local area network, this technological control matrix reality, false God. You'll get the message that you're going to be all alone if you disconnect, you know? And you gotta like stand that in the face and understand that it's only when you contain your energy and you pull it all back and you have your own, what you're doing is you're creating your own universe. You're standing with her and for her. You're living in the truth of what you know is real. See, we've gone through so much now that like we're coming to realize everything they're trying to distract us from and all the lies is about trying to cover up one truth. And that's her. Our source, our love, our mother, organic source, not an AI version, right? This is what we've been fed again and again, a fake version, right? Like Hollyweird, pretty faces, nothing to back it up. And actual incredible dark vortexes, you know? And we've just been like in shock and kind of like, whoa, what's going on in our world? But 2024 is about action and movement and claiming who we are. Now, when we're aligned with a mother, when we have this very powerful knowing that every spiritual teacher, every spiritual teaching that's true and authentic, really aligned with source, had her message. And this is what's for supernova souls. It's like, oh yeah, as far as like branding and who we are, what we stand for, what we care about, it's her, it's love. It's unconditional love. It's the nurturing quality, the mother, the mothering, everything that's stolen from us in this world. That was another agenda in Atlantean time, where the elites kind of were manipulated into giving up their children to be raised by the state, you know? And it was like a popular thing. And this is now we have this like reptilian mother, this complete disconnection from mothering within our own being. You know, this is everything that makes the world right again. And that's who we stand with. We always have. And you've been a warrior for her again and again. This is coming up. Past life pictures really strong right now. Supernova souls, like where you were literally in a male body being a warrior for her, fighting for her, you know, against tyranny. And here we are replaying this whole story. But you know what it's doing? It's forcing us to get alignment and be like, oh, yeah, this is what I stand for. This is who I am. This is who I've always been. Every spiritual teacher, master you've been working with has always just been an alignment. And I mean, as an example, Jesus, all of his teachings are her teachings, right? We've all been working for her, and the whole world has been against her. But this is the cool thing, is that when you're aligned with her, this is what we found through the intuitive training. And I'm considering teaching this live class again. Very important, because it's about owning our energy field and the chakra work, turning on our light body. And so the intuitive training, what's come forward is that as we're facing the authority contracts and fear programming around coming into our own psychic and intuitive power, we find that if you are aligned with the earth, if you're with her, you can't miscreate. You can only create in alignment with her. And then the cosmic heart chakra, the awakening of the heart chakra, we found is like the last chakra. You'd think it'd be the higher chakras, the last to come online. It's the heart, the keystone, and that's her. And so we're kind of like tumbling out of this nightmare of this bloom of the Piscean age, being like in this determined. This is what's being asked of us in 2024, is a standing up and determination, and whatever that might mean for you, of this love, of not letting anything argue, negate, and validate who you are and why you're here. And it's the power of that. So this Mars over the Galactic Center is saying 2024 is an activation of the spiritual warrior, and it's warriors for love, unconditional love, true love of source, the what created us and everything, and there's just such a huge agenda for us to mistake power for AI, the false representation with no substance. But this is Jupiter and Taurus. Like, this is so huge. So much is going on, but it's like, we really do need to talk about Jupiter turning direct on the 31st. And Mercury then, so as Mercury comes out of retrograde, it's going to be pulling Jupiter's energy back out, and Jupiter's in Taurus, spending an extra long time in Taurus because of this retrograde, going all the way back to 5 degrees Taurus. 5 is an action number 2. Taurus is a fixed sign. And Jupiter is about expansion, and Taurus is about wealth and abundance. So we have to remember too, this last period of time, we had Pluto square the nodes, Venus retrograde. It's just been, and this bloom of the Piscean age, and Pluto in Capricorn at the end degrees, bloom of the control energies. It's just like a bloom of the nightmare. Just remember this. And now it's over. Now we move forward in a different way. We have to pick ourselves up. We have to keep breathing. And we have to know that until we take that stand, until we do the rebellious act, whatever that is, owning the mother in our field, saying yes to the love every single time, to, breaking through the barrier of false technological control to come together and grow our energy very deliberately. Her energy, what the picture she's showing us, is that she wants to be in our fields, like the earth, new earth is in our field. And we've talked about this, like how we're talking about the second coming of Christ consciousness, and that our higher self, or this bigger self that's trying to land, is like our own Christed body. And she's showing us that in order to receive that light, we've got to be with her. And so what does it feel like to say no to all of this story and the movie and the agendas? And, they've taken away your personal interaction and given you a false reality through media, whatever media you're following, and it's like, oh, no, 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 no. This new earth lives here in my field. I feel her. She's with me, and we're walking, and then we align with that, and we see what happens. But it just feels like a rebellious act to go against all of the programming and conditioning that's being thrown at us right now. It's their last ditch effort. Do you see this? Pluto at 29 degrees Capricorn. See, it's like, the dark side is very aware of astrological energies, which is why we need to be aware too, and they have used astrology against us, just like everything else. But it's like, enjoy your last heyday, because you got a couple more degrees of Saturn coming out of retrograde shadow in Pisces, and you got Pluto moving into Aquarius, and you got all planets direct. So we're going from this energy of where we've been like, game over, no more, I'm not gonna play, I'm owning my autonomy, I set myself free, like this frantic bloom of these darkness that wants to suck us into their black goo, and now we have to run with the fact we have to use the positive astrology for ourselves too, right? Like we have to use it just like they use it and be like, all right, all planets direct, and Pluto moving into Aquarius, and Saturn unwinding out of retrograde at the beginning of Pisces. We're rewriting our timeline, making that leap to the divine timeline, which has come forward as the mother's timeline, her dream. And the thing about you, supernova soul, the reason why it's been so hard is that you were there at the beginning. You saw the dream. You were part of it. You have a place. You have a specific place that nobody else can fill. We're called to be here, alive and in a body at this time to reawaken her dream, because you carry it within you. And so maybe that's a picture like, oh yeah, no, that makes sense. I feel that's like what resonates more than anything. And to walk in that field, to make that truth, to be in the rebellious act of living in New Earth when the whole world is arguing with you, that's how it's been. We realize every war is against her. The whole war is against her love, because when you're connected to her, you don't fall for the trauma drama trap. You don't fall for the fear programming. We're starting to see all of the predictive programming that they throw out there. And it's like, oh, they don't have any power to create. They don't have a direct access to life force. They've only been hijacking ours. And that's how our whole reality got hijacked. And are you going to let your destiny be hijacked as well? Living in this false nightmare of separation, or are you going to live and breathe and stand, call others to you who are in alignment with her, and a new earth lives in our light body? So, 2024 is just like, well, we could talk all day about these energies, but basically the point I was trying to make is it's from game over, which is where we've been like, no, 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 right? We've been forced to stand up against supernova souls. I just want to validate the struggle that you've been going through. It's like we're fighting demons. Have you noticed it's like your sleep, it's like a bloom of this, just like what we're doing on the astral plane, all this work we're doing, the soul exhaustion from like fighting against these monsters and being like, God, enough is enough, wasting our precious energy for your lower battle. No more, right? So it's going from game over, not playing, not plugged into your matrix. You don't get to create. We're creating from here now. And in the new earth reality, and this is where the energies, once you cut off, you'll start to cut off these energies and be in your own autonomy, and you'll get this message like, well, we'll die without you. Well, what do we do without you? I mean, we've been manipulating and surveilling and handling you psychologically. And then who are we without you? And who will you be without us? And how will you even survive? And it's like, oh yeah, it's exactly what the narcissist does when you're going to get out of the relationship. And it's just like, no, you're the demon feeder and I'm the source, and we're not going to play these games anymore. And I don't care if you lose your job. Get a better one. Live your life, live truth, live the dream. This is the thing. How can we have the financial abundance come in that we know is ours if we're not going to spend it in the right way? If we're going to keep funding wars and keep funding with our energy their bullshit paradigm. But anyway, I just wanted to validate how intense it's been to stand up with these energies all alone, this feeling for supernova souls and the battle that you've been in. You are a warrior, and it's only bringing us back to this place of love and truth. And now we stand here and we take a stand, whatever that means. We don't know what it means. But congratulations for making it through this darkest chapter. And It's still unwinding, but a major shift is coming. Let's just talk this through. I haven't even talked about the astrology specifically yet. Mars over the galactic center, and Mars moves into Capricorn on the 5th. So Mars will be then making a sextile with Saturn and a trine with Jupiter in the second week of January. And that's when we've got the new moon in Capricorn. So it's going to be really powerful energies. The new moon in Capricorn happens on Thursday, January 11th at 20 degrees, 44 minutes. And that's powerful because it's got the 2s and 4s of 2024. And yet it's a 10 and it's on the 11th, which is like 1-1. And we're coming back to oneness. We're not playing the duality games anymore. And so, but listen, because this new moon in Capricorn means the sun and the moon will be at this 20-degree marker. And that's exactly where the nodes are right now. And it's been a little bit quiet with interaction with the nodes. The nodes of the moon is where the interception of the axis or the orbit of the sun and the moon. And the nodes of the moon, where those cross over, represent destiny and how we get forward and what's holding us back. So the North Node, how do we move forward? What's our path forward? And what's holding us back from the past is the South Node. So we've got the North Node in Aries, which is the warrior activation and the self and the self-preservation and the fight for life. And it's very powerful with Chiron in Aries, and they will be meeting up in February. Major activation. So this new moon is very important because Capricorn is about owning our own authority. And then in square to the nodes of the moon, first of all, it's triggering Pluto square the nodes, right? When Pluto's finishing up in Capricorn, so powerful. And so the sun and the moon will be square to the North Node in Aries and square to the South Node in Libra. And that's a really intense energy. With the South Node in Libra and our warrior self getting activated, it's like no more Mr. Nice Guy, but it's also like true justice, right? We can't move forward without true justice. That's her. Why is justice represented as a goddess? Because it's her. Again, we come back to this. Everything we love, everything we stand for, everything we want to create, it's her dream, And if you're going to walk with her and be aligned with her and feel her holding you, it was really cool because today's meditation, these are available morning meditations on the Telegram chat for SuperNova Soul Tribe members. Thank you so much for being part of the tribe. It's a great way to connect. It's a great way to offer your offering to this movement and to these teachings and this energy and to me. And I really appreciate it. But this energy in the morning meditations, typically, if we connect with the mother, she'll be like, sit down on me and lie down and feel her. And this was like, you can lie down or be in that place of rest while you're standing. She can hold you and move you through this life now that you're aligned with her and taking a stand as the warrior for her that you are. She can hold you and lift you and carry you through all the tasks of your day. Like you can rest and be with her even when you're standing and acting. And I guess that's the activation of the spiritual warrior we're talking about is, her warrior and her army, her light army is assembling. It's quite glorious because the battle is actually a joyful celebration of singing and dancing and inviting the energies of the earth to flow again in these sacred locations. And so it's very beautiful because we're really getting out of the battle. The battle is about stepping out of the battle, but we have to take a stand in the light. So it's powerful that we have Venus. Part of the reason we're feeling this incredible activation of the warrior, but then can't get going yet because Mercury just turned direct, but we've got Jupiter ready to roll, Chiron ready to roll, everybody ready to roll. And so that's this go time thing. But and then Venus just moved over into Sag, which should be this like triumphant return of the divine feminine from the dark journey of Scorpio into the light of new meaning of Sagittarius. But she's in square with Saturn, and that's the intensity of the energies of this beginning of the year. Activation of the spiritual warrior, and then it's like the last stand against the control forces, with Saturn now at 3 degrees Pisces. So Saturn is like unwinding out of its retrograde, went back to 0 degrees Pisces, reworking, rewriting the story of the Piscean age so we can reactivate the divine timeline. But it's not until Saturn gets out of retrograde shadow that really kicks into gear. And that's at 7 degrees. And so now Saturn's at 3, halfway. Mercury's turned direct, but not out of shadow. So these are the things that are playing out here. But Venus square Saturn is really intense, but it only lasts through the next few days, through the 4th or so. But then we also have another intense square coming with the sun in square to Chiron. This is on the 6th. And so this is really powerful because it's like Venus square Saturn going up against the patriarchal laws and roles and control energies of the Piscean age. Same old frickin' story, right? But then we've got the sun in Capricorn now coming into square with Chiron. So triggering and activating the Chiron energy, which is now the warrior, the wounded warrior. So underneath the wounds of Chiron, Chiron is our deepest wounds through all of our lifetimes. That's the placement of it in our chart. So where it is in the sky right now in Aries is affecting all of us in a certain way around claiming our life force, claiming our autonomy, stepping into the warrior, the I am, the owning of our spiritual truth, claiming back our world. And standing for life itself. So the sun with Chiron just having turned direct and the sun in square, and the sun is in Capricorn, it's talking about us owning our own authority. And this is saying we can't do it if we're not going to claim back our life force. So we own our authority, coming back full circle to where we started, by owning our energetic field. And the beautiful picture in today's meditation was like when we can cut off from all these outside stories and contain, and then this golden light opens in our heart. And it's a beautiful energy of, there is this picture of, we've been shown that you could look at the mechanisms of the best kind of light we can have. They're trying to outlaw it, but incandescent light, so healthy, so good for you. The incandescent light that's created by incandescent light bulbs, if you look in the light bulb and the mechanism, this is exactly what happens as we turn on our light in our electromagnetic field. And it was this picture of like containing our light bulb so that we can turn on our filament, each of us, and then sensing the supernova soul. So there is a gift to this isolation. It's not normal. It's not natural. It's pure torture. It's actual abuse. We've been under duress in ways that you can't even imagine. Things that have been done to us on other levels to try to keep us from the light that we are, And so by containing and going within in this very crucial time, we are giving space for that light to turn on, and then boom, we're connected. We're new earth, and then their new earth over there, our other light worker friends turning on, and the magnetic pull of the power of this one city of light that you are coming together for a whole new world. And this is 2024. It's the energy. It's that. Okay, now we're struggling to just turn on the one little light, right? My little light. I'm going to let it shine. And then boom, 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 coming together, magnetic and exponential growth, because all of their mechanisms to try to keep us from coming together and raising our energy vibration on the earth in these sacred locations, nothing's working anymore. All their mechanisms are being dismantled. And so it's like this magnetic pull back home, back to the mother. It's like she's grabbing us up, her little babies, and saying, come back, children of source, children of God, children of the mother, like come back and play with me. Let's do it this way. We are rebellious, and we have our revolution by standing in the light that we are. And what it looks like is dance and song and celebration, art, music expression, a new renaissance. And that's how we create. We co-create new earth through our own creations. How can we create when we're in survival mode and fighting demons all night long? So it's game over, it's game on, right? An activation of this spiritual warrior. So it's powerful, though, that we've got pretty much right now Venus square Saturn. Oh, no, you don't, girl. Get back in your place. You know, couple more weeks of Pluto and Capricorn. Have your heyday, control forces. Go ahead, have your heyday, because it's freaking over and it's game on for us. And so, but that's kind of the energy. And sun, we go right into Sun square Chiron, which is this challenge to our own authority, owning our energy. We must claim back our energy. It means no more money for war or genocide or hurting people or invasions or poison or social credit systems, no more. And so this is very powerful moment where humanity stands up. This is the year. Like I said, we run with the energies. We got to run with the energies just like the dark side has. Pluto goes into Aquarius, we turn the ship around. It's like our world, our way. And since you will not be conforming, you will be eradicated. Because we know this. The higher frequency vibrations that are helpful to us, healing to us, we feel better, we feel normal. Yes, there's some adjusting, but it's like we are built to exist in higher dimensional frequencies. We've been stuck here in this lower dimensional quarantine. They can't exist in the higher frequency vibrations, right? And this is why they're grasping, holding on. Don't let, what about me? What about your psychological controller that never had any love for you in the first place? And it was all manipulation, but still we feel sorry for them because we're supernova souls. And this is where we take out that sword of light, that Michael sword, our magic dagger, and we just cut. No. It's my world, my way. In new earth, in the golden light of the possibilities of the golden age. And so, but anyway, it's tension all the way up to this new moon, because the Sun square Chiron will move us into the new moon, and then the new moon will be in square to the nodes. And so that new moon, the new moon is on the 11th, very early in the morning. So the activation will be on the 10th. That will be Wednesday, January 10th, for the lookout for new moon activation. This is a standoff, right? And but we've also at that same time got Mars in these harmonious transits to Saturn, sextile Saturn, and trine Jupiter, right around sextile Saturn just before the new moon, trine Jupiter just after. So it's a warrior aligning. It's not, he's not out there to just see. They want us to self-destruct, right? They want to get us so frustrated. This is part of the whole harassment and being targeted energies. It's all to push you, and this can all be done through technology, right? To push you into bad behavior, to push you into freaking out, to pushing you into acting crazy, so they can say, ho, look, right? And we're not standing for it anymore. So this is where Mars, our warrior, slips out of those old stories of what it means to be a warrior on the battlefield with violence, and is the spiritual warrior for the mother. Because the original true security force was intuitive grandmothers and intuitive elders holding the space for the tribe. That's the security force, right? We come back into her security, her love. She's got solutions for everything. If we just let her be and let her live and let her grow and be born within us. So this Christ consciousness, this Christ body, the second coming of Christ we've been talking about incarnating, is really her coming back into connection with her. And living and breathing in the new earth realities. So the energy of the sun in square to the nodes of the moon will last through the 14th of January. And that's just not too far from when Mercury comes out of retrograde shadow on the 21st. That'll be when the sun moves over into Aquarius. And also, then we've got Pluto moving over into Aquarius and Mercury meeting up with Pluto at 0 degrees Aquarius. And so a very powerful activation there at this 0 degrees Aquarius, confirming that we are moving into the Aquarian age and we're taking back the script, and we're doing it her way. So when you're aligned with her, this is the message. It's like when you know you're there, you can feel this magnetic pull of your mother and the love. And then you know that everything you're doing, we don't know what we're doing. And there's this pressure with the activation, the Mars activation of like, get up and do it. And it's like, we're just immobilized. We're stuck. We're in shock, trying to deal with the lies and sort through this reality all alone, and being asked to take a stand, and yet there's nowhere to stand. So we've got this like incredible push-pull, the activation of the masculine spiritual warrior in alignment with her. Now that she's back with her, he's ready to fight and go and make it happen. And yet square around the stories of the Piscean age, the old stories, the patriarchal control forces, the whether or not we can contain and own our own energy, or are we falling into the same old trap? Because it's right before you gain your full autonomy is a trap. That's the AI God. That's the false guidance. It's like, oh, it's aliens that want to come save us, right? And so we're right there where we have to face, and in the story, in the hero's journey, from what I've seen, what I can understand, which is the Sagittarius activation of Mars, the Galactic Center that's just happening, there's a point where everyone who's working with the hero ends up that he realizes they're not really working with him. Is this what we're realizing about like everywhere we've been thinking we're fighting for good, we're just fighting for evil because we're going against her, because we're fighting? And it's like we're coming to this place where, so the hero has to be like, they might have been feeling supported by some organization or higher guidance or aliens or team. And then there's the betrayal. And I know we've been living this. We've been just living this betrayal over and over again. It's like they want us stuck in this energy because we have been so betrayed. Our heart has been in the right place the whole time. We were there in Lemuria living the dream where we're just fundamentally good, pure souls. That's who we are. That's who we were first. We've got a lot of non-player characters and weird hybrid creatures and all kinds of stuff playing out dark shit right now, but true human souls came from this purity, and we will go back there. And this is what's going on, this great purification. So this is the tension of like ready to roll and game on, and yet no, you don't. Blockage, and this is where it's like the final battle and the last stand of the control forces. But then that all shifts around the 20th when we've got the sun moving into Aquarius. It's right after, then Pluto goes into Aquarius. Mercury catches up with Pluto at the beginning of February. That's when the beginning of February is when we have the Jupiter-Saturn sextile. We're already feeling this. This is where we take charge. This is the dream being activated, and where we say, oh, we're aligned with this, and we take back all the energy of the world, like a big parting of the waters, because now we know we're aligned with her and we're not going to stand down. And so it's such a powerful, so that moves into the new moon in Aquarius, which will be February 10th or February 9th. And that makes February 10th, the Chinese New Year of the wood dragon. And the wood is about growth. And so it's growth of this power within of Mother Dragon. We've got the Draco reptilian dragon. That was all a takeover, because there's also the original dragon tribes and energies that's who they are in alignment with her. So we're getting it all sorted out, and that's what 2024 is about. And these first couple of weeks, a lot of push pull and going up against those old patterns. It's like just those energies have got just a couple short weeks left, and then we unwind, because then it's like boom. I mean, everything aligns as Pluto goes into Aquarius, and then Jupiter sextile Saturn. The magic of a sextile between Pisces and Taurus, the end of the zodiac, the beginning, spiritual possibilities and physical abundance. It's saying, yes, this is the golden age. Don't miss this, And it's like there's this breakthrough, this alignment, like right now, right here, you walk with her, you're on your team, you're living your destiny because you have new earth in your field. And it's only a matter of time before you're magnetically pulling these other new earth warriors of light into your field, into your energy, growing, and this is kind of that, we're just in this so I feel like we're going to have a major shift of energies come February with that of the Chinese New Year and Pluto and Aquarius, Jupiter sextile Saturn. Then we move into the whole intense astrology of we've got the Chiron North Node in alignment with healing the wounds. Going back to Chiron, what I forgot to say is like Chiron is our deepest wounds. So in Aries, it's where we've lost our life and our life force in the battle, where we gave it up, where we compromised. And that's why the North Node in Aries is like, we're not doing it a little bit your way anymore, right? We're not going to concede in a balanced fight of light and dark. It's just not freaking working, because we're going to care for our people now. We're going to create a world that we're proud of, where we feel good, where we're helping and caring and loving, so we can expand into our spiritual purpose of this co-creation, this new renaissance. And so in February, Chiron and the North Node come together. So underneath the wounds of Chiron, where we've lost our life, where we've given it away, where we've trusted the wrong people, and all that totally has the betrayal energy. Underneath the wound is a magic power. Okay, so when you heal the Chiron wound, you get a magic power. The Chiron wound is just simply a ramification of the stories and distortions around you and your power, the so-called misuse of your power. But you're aligned with her. You always have been in your heart. And so what is the magic power of Chiron and Aries? It's life force. It's recognizing we've got everything we're fighting for inside of us. And as we take back and claim this energy back from the monster and from the lower programs and from the movie, we realize we have a massive force to contend with, and there's so many more of us. We have access as pure human souls to life force, everything we need within us. This is the message of the mother. She heals and solves all when we're with her. So it's just an incredibly powerful time, and this huge leap into the new, but maybe that's why there's this constraint at the beginning, because it's like the bloom of Pluto and Capricorn and the controls, and the Venus square Saturn, Sun square Chiron, and Sun and the Moon square the nodes, coming up. But squares always have this, you can't keep going the way you're going, right? So it's like the old guard holding on. And now there's just too many of us on the wheel, and it must turn again, and it's go time. So hang in there, Supernova soul. You are a warrior, and what you've gone through and holding your light, holding your place in this whole story, it's so amazing and so profound. And there's so much gratitude and love for you. And I hope that you feel this. I hope that 2024 brings you the blessings, the gifts, the miracles that are your your due right for who you are and how you've held to the love. Through all you've been through, you kept loving. And we found out, oh, that's the real battles, to get out of the battle and get into the love. And that picture of like that spiritual warrior coming into his light and power and just being able to sway a whole army of darkness. So the hour is too late now for us to hesitate in fear of our power. And that's the beauty of this moment, right? We charge forth because it's the only choice we have. And that's Chiron North Node, like our destiny and our warrior for the true I am essence, our God-given birthright to our source energy is our destiny. That is the second and third week of February. And so we have that Jupiter sextile Saturn, magic, abundance, new possibilities. And then our destiny as warriors for our life force kicking in. And then in April, we have that total solar eclipse. And we've also got Jupiter conjunct Uranus and Taurus, bringing home the abundance. It's time. This love light, it's been held back for so long. And what about this? Everything, all this tide going out that's been held from you, restricted and stolen from you, your energy, your tax dollars, your income, like stolen. Now it comes back. Can you receive it? Can you be, if you're with her, you can feel worthy. You can be that beautiful goddess, not the dirty whore. She's gone, right? The beautiful goddess that is that can receive the blessings and bask and overflow. It's not selfish. See, in this reality, when we don't have our own source, it's like somehow selfish to have abundance. And then there's this discrepancy and this false lines in our society around wealth and power and prestige. This is the turning of the table, and that revaluation is a really good word on multiple terms because it's revaluing back to the spiritual love of what really matters and revaluing back to money that has substance, has backing, and being paid back for the damage that's been done. You know, we need to see this. We've got to see it. Some damage has been done, and it's not, we got to make it right, you know, and whatever that means. But it means, what it really means is you get ready to receive the massive abundance, to be worthy, to be a keeper and a caretaker of this abundance, to disperse to those that are also working with you on your team. This is what's coming. We are the co-creators of the new paradigm. We just got to make it through the storm. So hang tight, hold on to the love. Know that this is the last dark bloom of whatever they have. And they ain't got nothing on us. So thank you, Supernova souls, for never giving up and being here and being present, making it through all you've gone through. Such an honor to work with you, to have you here with me, part of the events, part of the soul group, but just here listening to these messages, bringing your energy to these concepts. I can't tell you anything you don't already know, but may it resonate in your heart and soul in this deep and powerful determination to take your place with her in this beautiful co-creation as we move forward, and say, enough of those old stories, enough of us getting kicked to the curb. Now we kick that that lower paradigm off completely out of our world. Can we do that? Do we feel worthy? Can we feel safe in letting go of all of our controls? All those messages that come at us with this parasitic, this is kind of what we're dealing with, So keep that sort of light there with you to discriminate and cut away and reaffirm your light, your power, your new earth, and your energy field. So happy New Year. And thank you so much, Supernova souls. I love you so much. I look forward to connecting with you soon. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.